2018 Aquanita Stakes, and the lights are there, flashing away. All set. And racing as well. First to bounce out, Song of Vincent. Bustled out of the gates is BEL20180707, and Frosty Heart had jumped quickly. It'll try and find a spot just behind them, although kicking up now just in advance of Tracciato. They've gone out running hard in the early stages. About 3 or 4 lengths to Come Play With Me, the favourite. Then a further 2.5 behind those to Campaign, who was being closely followed then on the outside by Bentley's Brother. Second from last is State Prosecutor, with Satiric back last of all, going over to the back. They'd left the 1500 behind them in the Aquanita, and the former Sire's Produce Stakes winning 2-year-old took up the running. BEL20180707 for Steve Parnham. It's BEL20180707 in the back, leading by a length over Song of Vincent. Then a length and a half to Tracciato. Frosty Heart camped on its outside. Then that margin of about 5 or 6 lengths to Come Play With Me, patiently ridden by Nucky. On the rails, Campaign, 3/4 Bentley's Brother, State Prosecutor, and back last of all is Satiric. Well, it's almost a race of 2 different halves here at the 1,000 metres mark. We've got this group in front, the first 4 out clearly, and the leader is BEL20180707, a half to 3/4 in front from Song of Vincent. Tracciato, Frosty Heart still about 4 lengths away, then behind them to Campaign. Come Play With Me, there goes Satiric from last. It's on the march, getting around the outside, and he comes off the rails now with State Prosecutor when they come along by the 650. Relegated towards the tail, Bentley's Brother, but it's BEL20180707 in the Aquanita Stakes that will lead them for home. BEL20180707 by a length, Song of Vincent, Frosty Heart, Tracciato. Nucky winds up, Come Play With Me, gets out underneath. Satiric coming around the home corner, followed further back by Campaign. State Prosecutor follows Come Play With Me as they'd reach the 300. Frosty Heart, Come Play With Me, just idled up now, cruise straight past it. Come Play With Me dashes away. State Prosecutor gives chase, gets within 2 lengths of the leader. 100 left to go, and he draws the whip on Come Play With Me. State Prosecutor coming, but so's the post. He's too good, Come Play With Me, and he wins the Aquanita. Come Play With Me beats State Prosecutor. 4 lengths away, either Campaign or Frosty Heart, I'd say, and BEL20180707's down near the rails. Outside of them, Satiric with a gap to Song of Vincent, Tracciato, and Bentley's Brother. Come Play With Me. Peter Nucky with a winning double. Trained by Adam Durant, and adds the Aquanita Stakes to his list of recent wins. Of course, this being his first black type. Richly deserved. A horse that had got very quickly to the Derby, and he's now won 4 of his last 5. It should have been a high 5, but for some dreadful luck. But he beat State Prosecutor. Always a race in 2, and it was Daylight back there to 3rd, and that could have gone either way. It was either going to be Frosty Heart or Campaign or Frosty Heart, and it goes the way of 9. Frosty Heart in front of Campaign in a very close battle for the thin edge of the wedge. 2-3, 9-4. Come Play With Me, though, the winner. It brings up the second leg of a double here this afternoon for Peter Nucky, and Pete's about to join us over in the back straight with Brittany Taylor. It was a patient ride, a cool ride, because the speed of the race was hot early. They'd run it with the first group out there a day in front, but he didn't seem too perturbed by that. He had the right horse underneath him, Britt, and it got the job done very, very effectively, winning by a length and a quarter, 5 lengths between second and third. They ran 2:06.58, Britt in the Aquanita Stakes.
Thanks, Darren. I've got Peter Nucky here, who does bring up a double. And how good are these pickup rides going? Did Pikey say anything to you as you crossed the line?
No, he's probably a bit upset, but you know, he rides plenty of winners in the pink and white, so he can't be too dirty.
You have to make most of these opportunities, don't you, when they come, and you've certainly been doing that as of late.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the stable shows why Adam's #1, you know. Like, this horse had a setback a couple of weeks ago, and he's produced him in fine fettle today, and he's done well. And you're right, for these guys, it makes your job easier. Yeah.
Tell us about the run today.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit tricky run race. They went bloody really quick early, and then I just wanted to keep him in a little medium spot, and he was pretty happy there. Lucy made her run as we got to about the 700. Sort of didn't want to go then because we went quick early, but then he just started timing when we turned for home, and may have pressed the button a little bit early, but you know, the Durant fitness pulled through, and he was strong in the line.
And he's still wanting to get back.
Yeah.
You must have known Pikey was coming. Did you feel like he was always going to hold State Prosecutor off?
Yeah, well, he was the only one who was going to make ground on me because of the depth of that field. I just didn't want to go too early, but I was just going so well when I turned for home. And yeah, you know, I think his run might have come to an end because I could see him coming to me, but my bloke held him at the finish.
Kelly's gem in the next. Can you make it a race-to-race double and make it a treble for the day?
Yeah, well, she's really fit and she looks well. Big jump in class, but you know, the stable's flying, so we'll give it a go.
Well, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you. Ciao.
Yeah, Peter Nucky's had a good day. Adam Duran, that must mean a lot. Your family bred this horse, and obviously you've trained it from the get-go, and to win a feature race like this over the 2,000 metres must put a smile on your face.
Yeah, very much so. And we've got the mum, and we bred him. So, yeah, there's been a few sleepless nights. I've probably changed my mind 20 times whether he was going to the paddock or not. So, yeah, look, a fair bit goes out to Heather from Larkhill Vets. She gave us all the right advice and put it all on the table where we're at. And hopefully he comes through this run right, and we made the right decision. But he's... every time I said he's going out, he'd be in the paddock bucking around and being a lunatic. So I thought, oh, he's going to hurt himself in the paddock rather than hurt himself in a race. So poor people at the stables. He was going to the paddock 4 times this week, and he's still here. So, you know, we got the right decision, and to mum and dad also, they sort of left it all up to me. And, you know, sometimes you can make the right decision, sometimes you don't. But yeah, I think I'll get my first night's sleep I've had in the last 2 weeks.
When did you make that decision to push ahead for the Aquanita? Was it after a final gallop?
Well, he was going out last Saturday, so he didn't work. Then I changed my mind Saturday afternoon, galloped him Sunday morning, and that was probably the decision maker on Tuesday or Monday after the hard gallop. His leg was good, and Cat rides him in all his track work and said he felt great, and we really tested him at home, and that was probably the decision maker. And then he had another solid one on Wednesday that he come through really well. So, you know, we've been monitoring the whole time, and you know, he seems to have held up well.
What's his big aim next preparation? Can you dream for a Perth Cup as a 4-year-old?
He might have one more, but yeah, I do have a plan. I want to take him maybe to Melbourne for the Mornington Cup, and then maybe have a crack at the Adelaide Cup. He'll miss the Summer Carnival this year. It's too much sort of trying to go through these grades and then sort of head to Perth, and there's going to be a few decent horses there this year. So yeah, I'll just give him a good spell over the spring. He'll have a good grow, and then maybe something like the Mornington Cup, then into the Adelaide Cup or something would be a bit of fun.
So we might see him for one more run here?
Oh, I hope so, yeah. It'd be nice to have another crack in 2 weeks' time, but yeah, we'll let him tell us. He's done his job for us today, and if there's any signs, well, he'll go out.
Well done.
Thank you.
There's Adam Durant, the trainer there, who come play with me. That was a solid performance over the 2,000 metres, Anthony. And he's an exciting stayer here over in the west, and we might see him over in the east there, or you guys might, heading to Melbourne, and then hopefully a campaign towards an Adelaide Cup.